Welcome back to Piece of Chaos. Thank you so much for listening and for putting up with the long, extended break, as we're almost out of July already. I'll just get right into it. Went back east for the 4th of July and had an awesome time with family and friends, as I discussed. We were planning. There were parts of it that were amazing and memorable, and I think the funniest thing is, so we saw some fireworks, as you do on the 4th of July, but this was one of the most interesting fireworks displays I'd ever seen. So we're on the river in Maryland, the Patuxent River. It was awesome. Beautiful beachfront, basically, houses. This river looks like an ocean. It's giant. One of the people that lives there apparently spent $6,000 on fireworks, and does this every year, has a big party, blows it out. So we all kind of went down to the waterfront and sat on the dock, and we're waiting for this fireworks thing to start. And, if you've been around fireworks, if you've been real close to fireworks, you realize you don't want to be real close to fireworks. And so we see them setting up this fireworks, all these fireworks down by the water, but it's only like 50 yards away from us. And I'm like, well, I'm sure they're professionals. They're gonna, it's okay that they're this close. As soon as they started lighting them off, we realized that it was not okay that we were that close. There's little like cardboard casings falling on us and stuff. So we just kept backing up until pretty soon we were away from the water, out of the yard, across the street from the house watching the fireworks, and they were still like right over top of our head. And my cousin goes, I don't usually remember fireworks shows, but I'm never going to forget this one. And he was right. It was spectacular. So had an awesome time back there. Lots of watercraft time. I really increased my skills as a I guess you would call it a Sea-Doo driver. They really feel like a motorcycle. Wave runners. They're not really jet skis. I think jet skis was the old term for the ones that like were made by a company called Jet Ski, and you had to stand up, and it was like a one-person craft. I don't know if they made. I feel like it went from jet skis, those weird things you had to stand up on, to wave runners, and then whatever this is now. It's incredible. It's an incredible machine. Like, I was just admiring the physics of what it can do and the power. I mean, you go. I think the one tops out at like 70 miles an hour, but I mean that's on the water. That feels very, very fast and dangerous. And I mean, I've ridden motorcycles, and I feel safer on a jet ski. It just feels more in control. There's nobody around you. There's no other drivers, nothing to pull out in front of you or whatever. So, I mean, it just feels way more stable and safe. And anyway, lots and lots of time behind the wheel now. This is sort of our third year going to this sort of family reunion situation in Maryland and Delaware, and it was a blast. It was an absolute blast. I got to go on. I don't know if you guys have been to Ocean City, Maryland, but that was the place that my family used to go when we were young. When I was young, that was like our summer beach, and It's not that far from where my parents live, but it is a good ride just because it's a, kind of a 2-lane freeway, 2-lane highway to get there so it takes longer than the mileage represents to get there. But we did it. We went down there. I wanted my son to see the boardwalk and all that stuff, and he wanted to go on the rides. And I don't even think I went on the rides when I was a kid. And I hadn't been on those rides, and, they're pure rides. How bad could they be? Man, they were rough, honestly. I think I got vertigo from those rides. He had a blast, but I felt like I was upside down and turned around too much. It was insane. But that was cool. It was a beautiful, beautiful time with him, hanging with him, and great time back there. Hope you all had a great 4th of July. We ate everything. I mean, my family cooks and makes and bakes and has all kinds of food. So, very good stuff. Got to Wawa for a minute. Got my fill. I guess kind of turned into my annual chance to have a Wawa soft pretzel. Got that taken care of. It was great. And then just settling back in, coming back here. But the big thing that I wanted to tell you guys about, which you've heard me, if you listen to this podcast, talk about, is the return to stand-up comedy, and it's questionable. The questionable return to stand-up comedy, and I have the answer to that question. I'm back. I did it. I got on a show. It was luckily not really super planned in advance because I'm not positive I would have gone through with it. But as it happens, my good friend and longtime co-producer Brian McWilliams decided to restart Comedy Ahoy. Yo ho ho, Comedy Ahoy. Which is a show we did for almost 6 years together in Marina del Rey. He found a new spot. It's not too far from his house. It's about as far from my house as Marina del Rey was. It's about the same, trip. But he booked this show, and I saw it, and I was like, I got to go to that. So we made plans that I could go to it. So I'm thinking of just going and watching it. And it was the names on it were I was like, I got to go. I miss these people. These were regulars on Comedy Ahoy: Andy Peters, Justin Ruppel, Allegra Barnett, Devion Duman. And I was like, I got to go, and I got to say hi. Like, this show was a big part of my life for almost 6 years. It's back, and even though I didn't do any of the planning for it, I felt like I really want to go to this show. So I go, but I didn't really tell Brian either way if I was going. And I'm about halfway there in the car, and he hits me up and asks if I'm coming to the show. I was like, yeah, man, I'm on my way. And he's like, hey, do you want to do 5? And I really hadn't prepared. I hadn't thought about, I better get ready just in case. I really didn't give it much attention. I was just planning to go and shake hands and give hugs and see people and check out the new spot. But as soon as he said that, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I do want to try. I do want to do it. But when I got there, it's at a bar called The Greatest in Hawthorne, so just past the airport. And it was great. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better situation. The owner is great. The bartenders are cool. The space that we have is very cool. It's outside, but it's it's completely covered, so it's like a pavilion outside. And it's closed in with a fence, and it gets real dark. I mean, there's, street noise and stuff like that, but we had that inside the bar at Comedy Ahoy because it was such a busy intersection there. So it really doesn't matter. But super receptive. It was packed. And the second I got the mic in my hand, it just felt like home. And the crowd was super cool and went along with it, just like the Comedy Ahoy crowd. I mean, a local bar crowd, rowdy, fun, down for anything, ready to laugh, interactive, and, in a good way. And just, man, it felt so good to be back. And then to see my old friends that I hadn't seen since before the pandemic just crush it, and so funny, and to laugh for 2 hours straight. I just forgot how much I loved it, and it was glorious. It was so great. I mean, my set was mediocre at best. I've listened back to half of it and realized, there might be a kernel of a new joke in there, but, it was nothing to write home about. But it still felt like, okay, I remember this. I remember how to do this, and I can write more material and that's better than this. And, maybe some of my old stuff can come back in a new form from a new perspective. And, it was beautiful. So thank you to Brian McWilliams for pulling that show out of the mothballs. It seems like we're probably going to go back to doing it monthly. I was like, hey man, I'll help you. I'll do the show with you and book it like we used to. And, it was just awesome. It was awesome. And the response to it was incredible from all the comics that knew and loved that show. If you saw my Instagram, we did a little thing about how many times people had done the show. We have some 5 show people, some 6 show people, some 7 show people, a 9. How many times they've done the show, kind of like, SNL does the 5 Timers Club. That's where I was thinking of it. But had a little back and forth on Instagram there, and that was really fun with everybody. And just, man, it was great. It was great to be back. I can't wait for the next one. I really can't. And it makes me want to build my own show again. So for better or worse, I'm back out there. And I can now have a better answer to that question when people do ask me that. How's comedy going? Are you still doing comedy? I can say yes. I can say yes. I don't have to hem and haw about it. And it's awesome, and I missed it, and I'm glad it's back. So keep an eye out here for Comedy Ahoy, and that actually leads me to my next thing, which is I forgot how much better and easier it is to book guests when you are back doing comedy. So I have a great guest coming up. He's booked to do the podcast with me and next week. So you should get a guest episode here. Really fun one. I've been looking to this. I've been looking forward to this one for a long time, and so really excited to have this one and have this conversation. And I just got to think that's going to start to happen more often. Now, it was nice to be sort of remembered in a way, to show up and have people excited to see you and talk about our pandemics together and in a way that only comics can. And then, absolutely hysterical show. Like there were just things that happened that that should not happen and only happen on shows like that. And I just laughed so hard. We just laughed so hard and had such a good time. And the owner was super receptive and excited and grateful that it was there. And just over the moon. So anyway, it was back. Comedy Ahoy's back. I guess I'm back to being a comic again, which feels really nice. Yeah, so that's the big update. Sorry for the long layoff, but I think we're going to be getting back to being a bit more regular with this. Yeah, so thank you for listening. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you for the emails. Thank you for the social media stuff. It's really means a lot to me, and I appreciate everything that goes into putting this podcast out there. That people are digging it, and I appreciate it. So enjoy. Thank you for listening, and hope you have an amazing week. And I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.
I said to myself, this fair ain't never gonna go too well. But why should I try to resist when, baby, I know too well that I've got you under my skin. I'd sacrifice anything come what might for the sake of having you near, in spite of a warning voice that rings in the nights, repeats and repeats in my ear. Don't you know, little fool, you ain't never gonna win. Use your mentality, wake up to reality.